Aristocrats is one of my favorite archetypes in all of Commander. I love the idea of sacrificing an army of tokens to drain my opponents out. For a long time, the undisputed champion of Aristocrats has been Orzhov, with Teysa Karlov as the best Aristocrat commander. Let me explain. Aristocrat decks require three things: creatures to sacrifice, sacrifice outlets, and payoffs. The whole deck functions off of your own creatures dying, with Teysa Karlov doubling all those death triggers. So every payoff you have is twice as effective. That's twice as much life drain from Blood Artist, twice as many treasure tokens from Pitiless Plunderer, and twice as many vampire tokens from Elenda the Duskrose. That being said, a new color has been creeping in on Orzhov's turf: green. Green has always been good at making tokens, and Golgari's focus is the cycle of life and death. Mostly they've been focused on graveyards and graveyard recursion, but there have been a few cards over the years that would work great in a graveyard deck. However, when Strixhaven came out, we got a new legendary creature that was basically an improved version of Veto, Dina Soulsteeper. She's not only a sack outlet, she drains all of our opponents whenever we gain life. However, if we have Dina as our commander, we can't run Teysa. We need an Abzan commander that works well with what we're trying to do. Remember, as an Aristocrats deck, we want to be able to bring things back from our graveyard, which brings me to our commander. Nethroi, Apex of Death is a 5-mana 5/5 legendary cat nightmare beast with Death Touch and Lifelink. He also has Mutate, and whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Which means we can sacrifice whatever we want and just keep bringing it back with Nethroi. So this is a sort of amalgam of Lifegain, Aristocrats, and graveyard recursion. This will be a budget build, but it will not be a simple deck to pilot. Aristocrats requires a lot of attention to triggers and a solid grounding in math. If I have a Zulaport Cutthroat, Veto, Cruel Celebrant, and Dina on board, and I sacrifice my Sakura Tribe Elder to fetch a land, how much damage do I deal to a single opponent, assuming I point all my triggers at them? How much if I sack 5 zombie tokens? Leave a comment below with the answer. Before we get into the deck tech, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, 1 sudden I win card. For token generators, we have March of the Multitudes, Regna the Redeemer, Pawn of Ulamog, and Newscraft Mob. Our sack outlets consist of Viscera Seer, Woestrider, Krav the Unredeemed, Cartel Aristocrat, and the new Sanguine Spy. Our sacrifice payoffs include Cruel Celebrant, Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, Poison Tip Archer, Bastion of Remembrance, Vindictive Vampire, Falconwrath Noble, and Sir Conrad the Grim. For Lifegain and Lifegain payoffs, we're running Corpse Knight, Dina Soulsteeper, Veto, Thorn of the Duskrose, A Johnny's Welcome, and Sanguine Bond. To double our death triggers, we've got Teysa Karlov. Finally, Scourge of the Skyclaves can have negative power, which pairs exceptionally well when we want to bring all our creatures back with Nethroi, Apex of Death. Our interaction package consists of Reclamation Sage, Dam, Fracture, Putrefy, Mortify, Disenchant, Despark, Swords to Plowshares, Naturalize, Mythos of Nethroi, and Suffer the Past, which serves as our first piece of graveyard aid. Our board wipes consist of Kaya's Wrath, Cleansing Nova, and Merciless Eviction. For card advantage, we have Grim Harsapex, Midnight Reaper, Moldavine Reclamation, Smothering Abomination, Wall of Omens, and Plumb the Forbidden. In addition to our commander, we're running Karmic Guide, Timeless Witness, Lisa Forgotten Archangel, Necropanther, and Eerie Ultimatum for graveyard recursion. Our mana ramp consists of Sakura Tribe Elder, Solemn Simulacrum, Wood Elves, Farseek, Cultivate, Rampant Growth, Circuitous Root, Primal Growth, Migration Path, Wall of Blossoms, Fertilid, Soul Ring, and Arcane Signet. We were also able to stay under budget enough to add an Ashnod's Altar. Not that we have a bunch of big mana spells, but it can help us recast our commander, and even get back all the creatures we sacked to it as well. For lands, we're running Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Sandstep Citadel, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse for mana fixing. Bajuka Bog is our second piece of graveyard aid, Temples, Guild Gates, Gain 1 Tap Lands, Caves of Koilos, Llanowar Wastes, Canopy Vista, Myriad Landscape for additional ramp, 5 plains, 7 swamps, and 5 forests. So let's see how our deck compares to our checklist. 52 mana sources, 37 lands and 15 pieces of ramp, 11 pieces of card advantage counting our commander, 10 pieces of spot removal, 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, no sudden I win cards, but our deck is more about grinding value than suddenly winning. All in all, our deck checks every box and is a lot of fun to play. The nice thing is, with few exceptions, Aristocrats is a very budget-friendly archetype. So other than an improved mana base, most Aristocrat decks are fairly cheap to build. There was enough room in the budget for one $10 card, so I was debating between Skullclamp, Pitiless Plunderer, and Ashnod's Altar. Normally I'd go for Skullclamp, but this deck doesn't have a lot of 1-power creatures or tokens, so I went for Ashnod's Altar instead. I'm excited to play this version in paper, especially the combination of Scourge of the Skyclaves with Nethroi, Apex of Death. Getting to bring back 30 power worth of creatures instead of 10 sounds like a lot of fun. Remember, we don't have a ton of token generators in this deck, but we do have a lot of graveyard recursion, so don't hesitate to sack any of your creatures. Who's your favorite Aristocrat commander? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I'm doing a push and trying to post new videos every weekday for the next few months, so look forward to lots of new videos in the near future. Or you can click here for more Commander content. I've also started a Patreon. You can click the link below or go to patreon.com/Danon. Stay safe and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.